We are. Okay, we're live. JG, hey, welcome back. We're live again today. Two shows in a row. We got so much to talk
Double
about.
live.
Hey, listen, folks, welcome. Join us. And hopefully we get a few people live joining us here. JG, we had a few viewers on the last video that we did. So listen, folks, we got a lot to talk about. And I see that Pierre Polyev just went live on Facebook. Man, now I think we might have just lost our audience, JG. Everybody's going over to watch Pierre Polyev, my favorite. Hey, maybe I got to come back later. I got to go watch Polyev.
I think it's the opposite, Patrick. I think that we're stealing from Polyev's audience, the real estate investors.
Yes, beautiful. Well, listen, folks, we talked this morning about what's going on in terms of technology and innovation in the world of real estate and how we want to be ahead of the wave. We don't want to be chasing that technology, chasing that innovation. We actually want to get ahead of the wave and ride that wave. Well, in all of that, how do we grow a portfolio? How do we create that financial future that we all look for? Now, what's the financial future? I mean, JG, thousands of real estate investors later that we have talked to, the end goal always seems to be financial freedom. Whatever your definition of freedom is, that's what most people are looking for investing in real estate. How do you create a portfolio as easily as possible, as quickly as possible, as effectively as possible? You got to raise capital. And in spite of what we keep hearing about what's going on in the economy and the world's coming to an end and blah, 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 this is a great time to raise capital when you know what you're doing, when you can be the leader for others who want to put capital to work. JG, take it away.
Right now, I totally agree, Patrick. Right now is the best time to be raising capital, and folks will prove that to you. If you just give us a few minutes, we will prove that to you and show you. But I think, Patrick, before we get there, we have to ask ourselves the questions like, with all, and in the technology segment we did earlier today, with all of the incredible things happening in real estate, there's really only one thing standing in between people and their financial freedom, and that is raising capital. Because technology is better than it's ever been. The deals out there are absolutely incredible right now. The interest rates are higher than usual, but don't worry, they'll come back down. And if you raise enough capital, the interest rates don't matter, by the way. So there's literally just one obstacle. And oftentimes in real estate, there are many obstacles between someone and their financial future. In this case, there's only one, and it's raising capital, because there's incredible deals out there. And I got to say, now is the time. And I'm going to make this opening statement, Patrick, and then I want to kind of ping pong this back and forth, which is, I really want people to understand that when the market is in chaos the way it is now, people search for leaders. People search for leadership. People turn to experts. People turn to leaders in the space. And I know that the people watching this don't consider themselves leaders, Patrick, but the fact is, the truth is, they are leaders because they are watching this. Most people don't sit around on a Saturday morning or a Sunday evening and search up real estate investing videos to increase their knowledge. But the people watching this very video, that's exactly what they're doing, making them the leaders of tomorrow.
100%. And here's a couple questions I think everybody has to be asking themselves if they're trying to hit that goal of financial freedom and they see real estate as a way to do that. First and foremost, JG, technology shows us that there is cash flowing deals out there. I mean, bar none, without argument, it's there. So the story of I can't find cash flow it's just not the truth. Now, having said that, if you live in some region and you look in your backyard, you may say to yourself, oh, I can't find cash flow. Well, that may be the truth. But given technology, your backyard is the whole country when you really understand and know what you're doing and take the time to educate yourself. There are members of this community who are investing literally outside of their own city, outside of their own province. You're a perfect example of that. I'm a perfect example of that. But there's literally hundreds of our REIN community that don't invest in their own backyard because it's not the best place to put their money to work. So having said all of that, let's get that story off the table. There is cash flowing deals happening right now, in spite of what everybody says. There is financing opportunities for the right deals, regardless of what anybody says. Raising capital is one of the tools that people can have in their tool belt to, in fact, grow that portfolio. Because here's the fundamental question I think, JG, people need to ask themselves. Financial freedom. How many pieces of real estate or how much real estate are you going to be able to buy on your own, by yourself, with just what the cash is and you've got in your bank account? I mean, you're limited. How many mortgages are you going to be able to get on your own? You're limited. So the way to grow your portfolio, the way to financial freedom is raising capital, putting other people's capital to work, but following a proven system, one which we have for, countless years now, grown and have developed and evolved and continue in our raising capital program. And JG, let's face it, 350 million or maybe more of capital has been raised following this system, following this process, and doing it the right way.
You know, I think what you just said there, Patrick, is so important. The real estate business is a partnership business. I mean, sooner or later, you're going to end up getting into partnerships. And yes, if you only want 1 or 2 or 3 pieces of real estate, that's cool. And by the way, that's fantastic. And that's amazing. But if you want to get 5 and 10 and 15 and 20, and you want to grow a significant business and you really want that financial freedom, because 2 or 3 properties is fantastic, but that's not really financial freedom. That's more like financial security. After financial security comes financial certainty, and after financial certainty comes financial freedom. And we know that that is a roughly, at 8 properties, people have financial certainty, and at 17 properties, roughly, approximately, people find financial freedom around there. The point is that back in the day, you didn't need partners, Patrick. When you started in real estate in the early 2000s, 1999, 2000, 2001, I know I'm dating you a little bit by saying this, but I'm doing it on purpose, which is, you could acquire 15, 20, 30 doors on your own. That's not like that today. You can't do it on your own. You need partners, which is why this program, Raising Capital, that we're bringing back online, is so timely.
Well, 100%. Here's something that I think everybody who wants to invest in real estate needs to consider is, what is the goal you're working backwards from? Are you going to be the leader within your circle of influence to grow portfolios for yourself and for others? Put capital to work and do it in a way that is methodical, proven, that you're attracting capital, you're not chasing capital. I think you have a quote around that, at the end of the day, if you're chasing capital, you're not raising capital, you're not attracting capital, you're actually pushing it away. And the reality of it is that when you show up, know what you're doing, have the expertise of actually attracting capital, people want to invest their money with you. And I think that's the fundamental difference. And then when you take technology and wrap it around your ability to raise capital, you've got a winning combination of tools that will actually help you grow your portfolio. And I want to just add one thing, JG, before I pass it to you. Here's the problem that I think we face. We get on these, and we've done hundreds of these kinds of videos. We've spoke with literally, is it safe to say tens of thousands? Yeah, I mean, many thousands of real estate investors. But here's the fundamental challenge that I think we face in the world of YouTube and Facebook and all the stuff that we're sitting here. We're talking about growing a financial future, security, certainty, freedom. We're not talking about in the next 24 hours or in the next 30 days or even in the next 90 days. Hell, we're not even talking about it in the next year. So we're actually competing with the narrative that we can get rich quick overnight if we chase money, if we do it like all those guys are that got their pictures in front of their Lamborghini. So I want to shine a light on it, saying we're not here saying that. We're actually saying you got to do the work, you got to get the education, you got to go out and raise capital, and then you got to look at a 5, 7, 10, 15, and even more year plan. But that's where true wealth is built. It isn't built on TikTok doing whatever they do.
Listen, the fact is and I'll answer that question, Patrick, by asking this question, which is, I think people have to take a hard look at how it's working for them. If what you're doing is working for you, fantastic, keep doing it. But if you're watching this video because you're searching for answers, thinking what I'm doing is not working, I'm either stuck, I've hit a ceiling of limitation, I can't seem to get my first deal, you're just stuck and you can't break through. You're currently running up against a ceiling, whether you have 1 property, 5, 10, whatever, you're hitting a ceiling. That's why you're watching a video like this. So my question for you is, how's it working for you? The answer is probably, well, you want it to work better. And I think that you're at the right place. And what we offer at the Real Estate Investment Network is exactly that, is people's ceiling actually becomes their floor to go to the next level. But Patrick, if someone's watching this and they're saying, okay, everything you said, Patrick, makes sense, but what do I need to be successful at this? And I'm going to chalk it down. And I know it seems simplistic, but I want to spend a little time, unpacking this with you. I think there's two things people need. Number one, the one thing that YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and just social media in general, the one thing it's terrible for is it doesn't give people a plan. It gives people sound bites. It gives people a bunch of hype. It gives people all kinds of dopamine hits, but there's no plan. And if you're going to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, to deploy into real estate, you need a friggin' plan, and it's got to be good. And that's one of the things that, like a course, like Raising Capital, the course we offer, it's a course. It comes with 35 hours of content, exercises, homework. You come out of there with a plan. You know exactly what you got to do next. You know where you're going. So I think number one thing people need is a real concrete plan. First thing. Second thing is they need confidence. And that's one of the things, again, social media does not help people gain the confidence. In fact, I would say it does the exact opposite, Patrick, is it strips the confidence from people. So, and I think if people ask themselves these questions, they will realize the more social media stuff you watch, you end up getting more confused and you become less confident. And that puts you in a negative cycle. I don't know why it's doing balloons, but
it's funny. It's a potty.
But that puts you in a negative action cycle, and you end up doing nothing other than looking for more answers on the very place that's confusing you and not giving you that plan you're looking for. Therefore, you're not creating confidence, and it's just a negative cycle, Patrick. So I say you got to break that cycle. And I know this because I've even seen this myself. The more content I consume online, the more I get into these cycles, and I think I got to break this. I got to find the expert, or at least one expert, and just follow them and follow their proven path. And that's what we have here at the Real Estate Investment Network, especially in this program, Raising Capital, which, by the way, people can come to the webinar we offer, Patrick, to check it out, the information session, for free.
Yeah, it's a free preview, and we really get into a lot of details over the course of 60 or 90 minutes. I mean, let's face it, the Real Estate Investment Network, we've been around for 30 years. We've done this, we've led the way, we've evolved, we've changed, we stay with what's going on in the world. That's why we're leading the way when we talk about innovation, talk about technology. When we look at raising capital and saying now is a time to raise capital, it's actually one of the best times because people want to put their capital to work, and they're looking for leadership. They're looking for experts that are willing to take it on. Our preview that we do, there's one on November 8th and another one on November 15th, I think. Is it the 15th or 14th?
Yeah, correct. Let me pull it up here. But yeah, if people go to raincanada.com, click on the events calendar, November 8th and November 15th, we have 2 info sessions on raising capital. And I think you put the link in the description, didn't you, Patrick?
I did. I put the link in the decision. Listen, they're free. They're live. JG and I will host them. You get your questions answered. You can do whatever you need to do to get the answers that you're looking for, and make us work for it. And listen, we want you there. We want you to hear where the opportunities are, because we strongly believe and know in our minds that there is opportunities in this world when you have the right education. And JG, when you put that all together, when you talk about the innovation, the technology that we talked about today, kind of add to that the raising capital component, the next thing you know, you have a lot of really, really great tools in your tool belt to create and to build that financial future, hit that goal of financial freedom, and using real estate as one of the things that you embrace in terms of growing your portfolio. So JG, I'll leave final words to you. What do you got?
I want to finish by the same way I started, which is, everyone is in doing real estate, not for the sticks and the bricks, not for the tenants and the toilets. You're in this because you're trying to create a financial future that's better than what you have now. And there's only one thing standing between you and that more positive financial future, that financial freedom, and that is raising capital. Because if you had the capital right now, folks, you would be deploying it. You would be in the market because the deals are pretty incredible right now out there. We're at the part of the cycle where the deals are awesome, and it's definitely time. And just so you know, you haven't missed it. There's an incredible opportunity. You're going to ride this new wave of real estate in the next 2, 3, 5 years. You need the capital. So take the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and go raise the capital so that you can ride the next wave. And I tell you, in 5, 10, 15 years, you're going to say, going to that event was one of the best moves I ever made.
Time to grow your portfolio, live your life by design. JG, thanks very much, my friend.